Welcome to Casey Builds It. Today we're just going to build the simplest sitemap extractor. So for you guys in SEO, you will know this tool is very important. And now you can build this tool, but you can also add some different variations. And I will show you guys what you can do with this. So to start, we're just going to open up Cursor. We're going to create a new little chat box right here. But first, we need to tell it where we're going to save the file. So if you go onto your desktop, open up a folder, I'm just going to go ahead and right click, copy address. Now, there might be easier ways to do this, but for me, just a quick copy and paste works very well. Now, I will tell you, if you do not tell Cursor where to save the file, God knows where it will put it. So over the course of a year, it has been getting a lot better, but occasionally you have to remind it where to save a file, because sometimes it may try to save it somewhere where you will never find it. Why? Because it just goes off the rails occasionally. So to start, we will build this in Python. So typically, if you've never worked with Python, once you start, you will need to download a bunch of items from the library. But you will also want to use a GUI. So a GUI is essentially just an interface so you can see the program working. If not, you will be doing everything in a command box. So for example, if you go to search and you type in CMD, so you got your command prompt. If you do not have a GUI, basically everything's going to be looking like this. And for most people, you're not going to like that. So if we go over here, we're just going to say, I want to build a sitemap extractor tool. We'll just say for SEO. This will be using Python and create a GUI. All right, save the tool here, and then we're going to copy and paste that folder. Extract all types of sitemap variations. So typically it will, but sometimes it may not. So if we go like sitemap.xml, sitemap underscore index.xml, etc. And then we'll say export these in a CSV, if I can spell that correctly. Then we're going to hit enter, and then hopefully it should build this here pretty quick. So whenever I run Cursor, I honestly just use the default version. Back in the day, the default wouldn't typically work, but if things got a lot more complex, you may need to switch it over to like a Claude or a higher version. I really don't do that anymore. I can just stick with the basics, but once you kind of learn what you need to tell it and how to set everything up, it works pretty well. So you can get away with the cheapest version with a lot of different coding options. So right here, you will see it is trying to give me the requirements TXT file. So it will tell you what to download if you do not have those downloaded already. And then essentially you would just go back to a command prompt and copy and paste those in, and that will download the Python coding for you. So once this is all done, I will then export this out into an exe file, and then I will post that on the site somewhere, probably under the Files tab. and you'll see this video that will walk you through it. And then you can download the Sitemap Extractor if you would like to use it. But here's just a different version of a Sitemap Extractor that I created for a different purpose. So if we look at this guy here, the one different item that will not be on the tool that we're building is I wanted to actually separate the sitemap. So if you had a website that you're working on, and let's say they had 20 different locations, well, in that URL, you'd probably have a location. So what I did was we could extract that sitemap, but then I could separate all these by location, or you could separate them by a service. But if it was San Francisco, and then maybe one was Los Angeles and San Diego, right? I could put in the different locations or keywords right here and then extract that. And then in that CSV file, everything would be listed in order. So I wouldn't have to go through that sitemap and, maybe spend hours trying to sort through where I wanted to be. So it is still running here. Sometimes these run pretty quick. I feel like it's running a little slow at the moment. But we'll see what we come up with here. All right, come on. So if we go back to my file, I did not save it in my tools section, but it is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and move that up. Actually, let me make a new folder. So we keep these organized. I'm going to take this. And then I would just tell it to work back in this one. So any new changes, save here. And I'll just hit enter so we have that in there. All right, so let me go back to my folder here. And then we're just going to double click on right here. So it says Python file. And then that opens up a little command line right here. So then we got your website URL. And then it says extra sitemap. So we'll see what that might give us. All right, let's go back to Google here, and let's just type in, it doesn't matter, landscapers. So we'll just go to this site right here. And copy and paste the URL. So another way I could have built this, and we'll see what happens here. So we have website URL. Let's hit extract. So it's looking in the robots.txt. It's looking for all the different sitemaps, and they're right here. So what happens sometimes is if you set this up as the actual sitemap, you may have to put in the sitemap, the whole URL right here before it would extract anything. But in this case, it went out and just put the website URL in and then looked for the sitemap within itself. So right here, it did find the sitemaps, but it failed to give me any information. Now that does happen from time to time. People don't want you looking on their website. So let's just look for a different one. So we're just going to type that one in here. We're going to extract. And it's going through, and like I said, it's checking different variations. So right here, I can already tell it's typically a WordPress website because it has sitemap underscore index XML. So that is typically how Yoast sets that up in WordPress. If it was more of an HTML type of website, it would then just have the URL and then sitemap.xml. But right here we have different variations of the sitemap. Okay, and then if we hit, let me hit export. Just go tools, let's go here. And then let's see what we come up with. And then what we could also do to keep this more organized is we could tell it to create that sitemap, the CSV export, give it to, you could give it the website name. You could add in a timestamp. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what this gives us. All right, so this one didn't actually give us much. Now, this might be everything on the website. Let's just go back and check that, make sure. So if we go here, so sure enough, this does only have 2 pages. All right, so it only has the main site, at least on here, and a contact page. And that is what this gave us right here. All right, so just let's real quick. Or the export the domain name with a timestamp. All right, so I will add this. And then once it's done, we will make it into an exe file. And then I will upload it to the site here so you guys can go ahead and download this if you would like. So then it's already saved. So you go back to the folder and let's just make sure that one got saved there. All right. So I don't need to. We'll go here. Okay, so we're just going to put that same one back in here. Extract. So if you have a really large sitemap, then this will take a while to find everything and then export it out. So we're good. So now we'll hit export. So now you can see it added in the domain name, sitemap URLs, and then with the timestamp. Then that will save it wherever you would like to. All right. So now create an exe file. Use this standalone tool. So what an exe file is essentially doing, it will make it so you can download this on, I know for sure, any type of Windows computer, but it will install all the Python tools or coding that it needs into the program itself. So if you were to download this, you would not need to install any Python tools in order to use this tool. Everything is built in, and then this makes it really handy. Now, let's just say you have this tool or multiple different tools that would need updating occasionally. You could build updates in, so you essentially have over-the-air updates. So if you open the tool, it will tell you that an update is ready. You hit download, and then that would replace the version that you're working with an updated copy. So this says that it is done. So if we go back here, now we have this build exe. I'm going to click on there and we'll see if this one will work. Now, sometimes building an exe file will not work initially. There might be just some issues with the code, and it will tell you if it fails or not. And then you can go ahead and see if it works. So this one seems pretty simple, so it may have worked. And then what happens is it creates new folders for me. But then when I open up this dist folder, you can see the sitemap extractor right here. And you will know, I mean, it does say application instead of Python. But you may have noticed when I opened up the other sitemap tool, a black box appeared first. So if I come down here, you will see all these different tools that I have open, and those are due to that black box right there. And this does not have it. So now you could download this and use this on your computer for a sitemap extractor. So this is just a basic version, but now if, like I said, if you need to build one of these or need to build something specific like the one where I had the different keywords, you can do anything you want with this. You could have taken this tool and then exported those results maybe into a Google Sheet. Essentially anything you want. It's just whatever your process is. So if you guys have any questions or have any ideas of what you guys want me to build next, just go ahead and let me know.